what it was. They brought her to like maybe kind of own her sexuality in a sense,
which is fine.
and which is fine. But I think what then happened was that the minute she started
It backfired.
talking shit about Nigerian women,
Yeah.
then it made
And
them
here's
look
the thing
it made them
is-
look silly because it backfired on them.
yeah.
Because it was almost like, wait, we brought you on here just so that you can shit on us, and it caused a whole
It did,
ruckus
it did.
on Clubhouse. There were like several
Bro,
threads
so
on
many
there.
spin-off rooms.
I mean, you don't understand. There was so many fights.
Just let me address.
But it's been happening lately, and there was one that happened recently where it was
Dangote.
it was Dangote.
Dangote.
And it was this girl. What was her name? I am Bay Lewis, right?
There were two of them.
Yeah, I am Bay Lewis. Some girl called I am Bay Lewis came out and basically
Wanted to flex
she wanted to flex about
her life. So she was not getting as much. I don't know who she was. Nobody knew who she was. Well, maybe a few people did. And
Yeah.
she came up one day and decided to talk about just what she's learned from 2020. And obviously, name drop. I dated the richest black man in the world.
Yes.
And that's obviously where everybody caught the like, what's
what's
going on here?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's bro. Look, she said she dated him, and she has pictures of them together.
Yes.
So
she said that she learned a lot from him.
She learned a lot from. Oh yeah, he broke her heart into.
Yeah, he broke her heart into or something like that.
Something pieces or something like that. Guy, at the end of the day, and then she kind of plugged in her new ventures and like businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it felt like she was kind of clout chasing.
She was clout chasing,
but then she didn't stop there. She also went on Clubhouse. Didn't she?
No.
She didn't go. Wasn't she on Clubhouse?
So-
Wasn't she talking about it on Clubhouse?
No, so maybe
Oh,
actually.
oh, it was-
Well, hold on. So I don't know if she personally went on Clubhouse.
Mhm.
Now I know a group of some people decided to bring Simba.
Okay,
Who
okay. So
happened,
we'll
yeah.
talk about Simba in a
Okay.
bit. Yeah, okay. Sorry, it was Simba that came on Clubhouse. But yeah, so she came out and she was talking about it. I don't quite remember if she was on Clubhouse or not.
I don't remember too.
But then-
she might have been
But then what that did was it sparked another girl that came out.
to kind of say
Some girl that allegedly Dangote is currently dating, right? Some
that's
all
the one
around
that
girl.
posted picture of him in the orange.
Yes, I mean it kind of got messy.
So she posted a picture of him in the orange whatchamacallit,
In an
comforter,
orange comforter, but his
and
ass was
his
hanging
ass
out.
was hanging out.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so I found it. So this is Bay Lewis. This is how it started. Bay Lewis in an Instagram post happily revealed. In my 33rd year, I dated the richest black man in the world. He broke my heart in 1,000 pieces. I learned more from him than any person I've ever met. Communicating with a billionaire daily makes you see the world different. You know what? I don't want to give this too much air, but basically that's the picture of him. She posted the picture of him and of her and Dangote. She's this thick girl. I think she's originally from the US, right? And she must have lived. She must have been in Nigeria a lot. But that then
I
prompted.
think she said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe she did come on Clubhouse."
Yeah, I think she
because
came
they
on Clubhouse.
asked her how did she meet him, and there's a story about they met at a Mercedes dealership. I don't know if it's in
Yes.
the post,
No,
but I
it's
know
not
that
in-
story was going around that they met at a Mercedes dealership.
Yes.
So
So yeah, she did
might
come on
have-
Clubhouse,
she
and
might
she
have been
claimed
on Clubhouse,
she
yeah.
claimed they met at a Mercedes dealership, and that's where they kind of linked up.
Yeah.
And then this other girl came out, some all around.
Kind of
girl.
was like,
the guy has
yeah,
a type though. Have you
he does
noticed?
have a type,
Tall, long legs,
yes,
big boobs.
black,
Yeah, dark
black Americans.
black Americans. Yeah. Wasn't that strange?
And that was what's made some
Okay, and we'll get to
That's
it.
it,
We'll
yeah.
get to it. So the all-around girl comes and is pretty much insulting this girl, right? That she was claiming that the girl doesn't know Dangote like that, and that trying
even
to claim
texted
that
Dangote. I think Dangote called her a thug.
yeah, trying
According
to
to the
claim that
screenshot. Mhm.
yeah, trying to claim that she was just clout chasing essentially,
Basically,
and then she now posted this picture
of Dangote's ass.
and Dangote's ass was out.
She posted a bunch of stuff in her story of him her with him in a private hangar.
Yes.
with private jets. I
Yeah.
think he was about to buy it, or he something funny like
I
that.
mean, it was messy, and and then that's when the Dangote bomb in Miami Orange.
Miami. So the group was created, and it was created by a bunch of popular Nigerian Twitter
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Some controversial, some not. But anyways, they were created a group.
That's the girl, by the
Now,
way.
they decided. I don't know if it's this. So I think a guy and girl, some people should decided to get Simba.
Okay.
Simba
Yes.
happens to be a call girl, I guess is what I'll call her.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I don't know too much about Simba, but
But someone brought her
some
on
she's
Clubhouse.
she's supposed. I don't know if she has an OnlyFans, but I think she's a call
She
girl
does. She does have an
who's always
OnlyFans.
in Nigeria and
Yeah,
Ghana a lot. She
big
dates a
girl.
lot of
Like,
Nigerian billionaires, and
mhm.
so they called her to come and talk about just dating a Nigerian billionaire and stuff like that, and that line of work she's in.
Mhm.
Now, some have said the motive of the calling Simba was for her to drag Nigerian men on
Mhm.
Twitter, but they online
Mhm.
they did frame it as. So I went on Simba's page, and she said she was going to talk sex education. That's why she's doing this Clubhouse thing. But her reasoning for giving a sex talk was, would you rather someone who's only had sex like with two people or something like that
Mhm.
give you sex education rather than someone who's had sex with over 2,000 or whatever the number was, 200 people.
Yes.
And that's kind of funny to me, because sex education is not just about how to suck dick. Like, that's all she was doing. She was talking about how to suck dick and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's not. I don't really think that sex education, yes, includes sexual activity, but it also
Mhm.
includes stuff like consent. It also
Yeah.
includes stuff like preventive measure.
Mhm.
But so I think they should dead that whole narrative of she came to give sex ed talk. I think they just wanted someone to come and talk about how it's like to be dating these billionaires.
Yes.
And
And there were a lot of people
there were a
on
lot
there.
of
There were
people on
thousands
there.
of people
Now,
on
here's
there.
what happened. In the process, Shorty decides to drag Nigerian women,
Yes.
which a lot of them, from what I heard, I wasn't there at this point.
Mhm.
I actually wasn't even never in the room, but I was hearing people were just saying what happened. So
And for the
don't
record,
quote me.
she did deny that she was with Oshibanjo. She just said
Oh
she
yeah,
left.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
she
The
denied.
Osin Banjo stuff was they were at an event and they took a picture together. So,
Yes.
but anyways, what I heard, and like I said, you can call me out if it's wrong or whatever, is that she started to drag Nigerian women
Yes.
and make statements about how Nigerian women don't know how to have sex.
Mhm.
Because the reason I'm saying is because that spilled over into our room and we are having that conversation, the
Mhm.
room you and I was in.
Yeah.
So she said she's been in what they said. She said was like she's been in like rooms. She's been in situations where she's having threesomes with Nigerian women,
Mhm.
and they just
She
she's
just
looking
don't know
at
how
them
to.
like, what are you doing? You don't know how to. Why are you giving her like that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I think so. She started to drag Nigerian women and
Mhm.
said that these billionaires. That's why they prefer people like
People from out of town.
Belu, these women that
Mhm.
Dangote seems to prefer. So that became its own thing again in its own
Yes.
entirety, where Nigerian women
Mhm.
now got mad.
Yeah. So my read on it was, and I'm glad the way you put it that way, because that's like the official, technically what happened.
Mhm.
But here is my read on it. My read was that she was brought on Clubhouse to be like this symbol of like women, sexual empowerment for women. Because there was a lot of these feminists that
Very,
were on there
very
asking her
possible.
questions.
Very
I mean, there are
possible.
some that I identified, like well-known, like internet feminists, right?
Yeah, I have
That
some of them on my mute list on Twitter.
and and I remember they were asking all these questions, and some people were like, "Yeah, you're so bold. I like that you just own your feminism. This your like the fact that she's a sex worker. Basically, they put her on this pedestal, and I think that was
It
what it was.
backfired.
That was what it was. They brought her to like maybe kind of own her sexuality in a sense,
Which is fine.
and which is fine. But I think what then happened was that the minute she started
It backfired.
talking shit about Nigerian women,
Yeah.
then it made
And
them
here's
look
the thing
it made them look
is,
silly because it backfired on them.
backfired, yeah.
Because it was almost like, wait, we brought you on here just so that you can shit on us. And it caused a whole
It did,
ruckus
it did.
on Clubhouse. There were like several
Bro,
threads
so
on
many
there.
spin-off rooms.
I mean, you don't understand. There was so many
to
fights.
just let me address them real quick. So me saying I have some of them on my mute list is because there's a controversial topic going on right now where somebody said Twitter feminist is it a myth or something like that.
Hmm.
And I know there are people who are upset about that. I haven't really been in the room to hear what they're talking about. But
Yeah.
why I have some of these people on my mute list is I feel a lot of them are very their aim in life is to just be controversial rather than really be
Hmm.
supportive of this movement that we call feminism. So
Yeah.
I once you start being extra or intentionally controversial, I
Hmm.
kind of just don't want to really see what you're about because I feel like everything you do in life, you
Yeah.
just want to be controversial,
Yeah.
and I don't think that helps any movement or any cause
Hmm.
in just being an alarmist and
Hmm.
just being. So that's why some of them are muted. But you know, like you said, some have and feminism is this pod is not about feminism, but some have made it clear that feminism is ability to do whatever you fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a sex worker, be a sex worker.
Yep.
And some have
And we're
taken the
not shaming
stance.
anyone
Some
on
have
here.
taken the stance that being a sex worker is a stance is feminism. Yes, it's not the only type of feminism. It's
Yeah.
one type if you want to be quote unquote empowered.
Yes.
I'm not really sure how being a sex worker empowers your body, but I'm not a woman and I'm not a sex worker.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You
Hmm.
get the same way I don't know how there are a lot of other occupations that I'm not really sure how that's empowering to your body.
Yeah.
But
I don't
it's
agree that.
it's
I don't agree that. I understand the concept behind it, that they say they have their own. I've got there's a term that they use for it, but basically they have the agency to do what they want to do with their body and shouldn't be allowed to be shamed for it. That's all well and good. However, I do think that when we start talking about sex work, I think if you're talking about sex work without also talking about the dangers that may come as a result of sex work,
yes.
I feel like you're doing people a disservice. I feel like when we try to glamorize things like sex work, I think we are doing people because look, if I had a child, I wouldn't want her to be a sex worker, and a lot of people wouldn't. So this idea that we try to glamorize this thing and we try to make it seem like, oh yeah, this is some kind of form of feminism, I personally don't agree with it. Um, if you are gonna talk about sex work, I think it needs to be in a way that you're also talking about the dangers that come with sex work because a lot of things happen when women go into these places that I think people don't really pay enough attention to. There are a lot of women that get harmed in the process. There are a lot of predators out there.
Oh, women get raped,
Yeah, there are a lot of predators out there that do some really really shicey
whipped,
shit.
kidnapped.
You always hear of all these stories on Instagram where all like sex workers aren't getting paid.
Yeah,
Like men trying to like swab
of
them. Like
course.
I'm always seeing one story
Yeah.
like that almost every other week of in some
But
Niger
but
prostitute that
it's
you know what I'm
anyway.
saying.
Yeah. So,
So
anyways, they say. Oh, you want to finish?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I just feel like it's one thing to talk about sex worker, but I think we have to talk about all sides and we have to be careful with how we glamorize it. But sorry, go on.
Yeah. So, but either ways, I mean, like, if your form of feminism and you use the hill you want to stand on is
Hmm.
sex work, so be it. Feminism allows you to
Yeah,
do whatever the fuck you want to do
that's
if we're
true.
being